friends, welcome to Bookish Bliss, our virtual book club. Every week we will dig into a section of chapters in our favorite books. Let's get started.
Hey book besties, and welcome back to Bookish Bliss for episode 91. We have a lot to discuss today.
We are continuing our journey through Sarah J. Maas's tandem read of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn, and this week it's all about chapters 19 to 23 in Empire of Storms and 17 to 21 of Tower of Dawn. So you don't have to read the entire book, but you do need to be caught up on the chapters we're covering because we are going full spoiler mode. Amanda, darling, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking my electrolytes, my Ultima electrolytes in my Oala cup.
Oh, lovely.
I have to do a lot of talking today, so I need to stay hydrated.
It's your week.
'Tis my week, darling. What are you drinking tonight?
Kelsey got me this cranberry fizz poppy.
Ooh.
That's for the holiday. She gave me the ginger fizz one as well to try. It's very gingery. I did like it, but I couldn't drink the whole thing, but I did like it. But it
it's like
a strong ginger taste.
Yeah.
But my obsession with actual ginger ale, so
Indeed.
it's hard to top it. But we're going to try out cranberry fizz tonight.
Ooh, that sounds good though.
And see. Yes.
All right.
Crack this open. When there's not like a good I always get nervous.
Yeah, like it's not as carbonated as it could be.
All right. Cheers to episode 91 of Bookish Bliss and part 4 of our tandem read. Cheers.
Ooh, cheers. What's the verdict?
Why am I always doing taste tests on the show?
Literally, you always are. We need a montage of your taste test.
I know. It's better than the ginger fizz, but it's just not carbonated enough for me.
Yeah.
If it was more,
I don't really like Poppy that much.
If it was more carbonated, I think it would be better.
Do you know Dave's has been out of the Polar Ginger Lime Mule?
No
for
way.
2 weeks now. It's because I told the old lady at the store that it tastes like ginger ale. Now all of a sudden it's sold out.
Yeah, she's stealing your shit. I'll have to.
I'm not telling any. I'm going to tell everybody it sucks from now, and so nobody buys it.
I'll look in Stop and Shop for you.
Oh, you're so nice. I guess I could too. There is a Stop and Shop near me.
My hair's looking really brown today.
It is.
It's not brown.
It's not brown. Well, mine's browner than yours.
Yeah.
Mine looks browner than yours anyway.
It's because my light is all messed up. All right. Bookish news.
Bookish news, darling.
I finally finished a book.
Woo! She did.
Oh, God.
She didn't like it as much as me, though.
No.
But anything vampires, I'm obsessed with vampires, so.
I just, I don't know. I didn't like how it ended.
See, I did.
I just didn't like how we backtracked in the relationship that was progressing.
Yeah. I know. You're a romance girly. That's why.
Yeah. I'm back to this miscommunication bullshit. Ugh. Boo.
It's like Violet and Xaden all over again. In Iron Flame.
Oh, yeah. I just hated that bitch in Iron Flame.
You did. That's funny. Have you read anything else this week?
I read almost all the chapters for this episode.
Guys, Megan,
I forgot
to read the last chapter, so
I did.
That's okay. I'm going to give you a summary of it.
I did my notes. Well, I've also read the book before, so I'm not too worried about it. Once you read your summary, I'll be fine. But I was doing my notes because I had such a busy weekend. I didn't stop. And yesterday I was just dead to the world, but I started reading, and we all know that I do my notes the day of the recording.
Literally.
And
finishes minutes before.
I did. Yeah, I did my notes, but I was oh, I finished reading my section, and I swear I was last.
You were done.
And so I did my Tower of Dawn notes before I even went back and did my Empire of Storm notes because I knew I would just typing those ones up better. And then I was oh, wait, was there another chapter? And I was yeah, I think there is. But I was oh, la, 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 la. And then I just forgot. And now here we are.
And here we are. Hopefully my summary does you justice. I'm sure it will.
I'm sure it's perfect.
Thanks, darling.
What did you read this week?
So I finished The Prisoner. I don't remember if I finished it last week
Hmm.
before we
I
recorded,
think
but I
you just said
finished
you were
that.
reading it.
Yeah, no, I finished that. It was good.
Hmm.
Not like great, but it was good.
Yeah.
And First Lie Wins. I finished listening to that today.
Nice. How was that?
That one was good too in its own way.
Hmm.
But I would say I think The Prisoner might have been better. I think I gave it a 3.5, and I gave First Lie Wins a 3.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I need to read.
well, I started The Veiled Kingdom, and I'm obsessed. So I feel like when you finally start it, which by the way, our book club is this Sunday,
Yes, come hang out with
8
us on
p.m.
Sunday.
in our Discord.
Yes, it's free to join.
It's free. It's fun. We talk for like an hour-ish.
Yeah, we have a great time chit-chatting.
Yeah.
We'll pick our next book during that meeting, so be
Yes.
there, be square.
Yeah.
Also, we have a giveaway going on to celebrate our Spotify success this year. So make sure you're
Mm-hmm.
following us on Instagram, like
And
it,
enter.
tag your friends, and share to your story for extra posts. I've been keeping track.
Yes. Megan's on top of it all. Our social media queen.
I think that's also why I just haven't been reading because I've been trying to grow
Yeah, she's
our
been doing the
our
engagement
accounts,
thing.
messaging people back,
Yeah.
talking to people,
It's a full-time
adding
job.
people. It is a full-time job. And so I feel like, there's always going to be one area that then lacks, and that's my fun reading.
Yeah. Well, we're doing 100 books next year, so you better get out of your funk.
I know. I feel like we actually need someone who needs community service hours or something to run our social media account and do the editing so we
Yeah,
can
does anyone
read.
need an internship?
Yes, does anyone need
Unpaid?
an unpaid internship for their resume? Because we would
We
be
got you.
great to work for. We're super nice
Mhm.
and it's
If you
not
can edit,
too
even
many
better.
hours, but a couple hours a day unpaid. We'll sign anything you want.
We'll sign anything you want. We'll write you letters of recommendation,
Mhm.
whatever you want.
We're very good at writing.
Well, one of us is.
Amanda's a great mentor. She'll mentor the shit out of you, and I'll write the letter of recommendation.
Perfect. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, so DM us if you're interested.
Are you ready to get started with the good stuff?
I am ready.
Let's go then and break down the tandem read part 4.
Whoa.
I'm going to say this every week, but I can't believe we're already at part 4.
I know. We're like, how are we here? How are we here?
It feels like we should be so far though, because we've already talked about so much, but really we're like this much into the books.
We're still such at the beginning. I wouldn't even say we're in the middle. We're still at the beginning of both of these books. Our episodes for the tandem read go to right before Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy.
All right, well, we're starting with me times 2, and then we end with me. So I hope you like my voice. You're about to hear a lot of it.
I said last week, if you like Amanda more, you get her this week. If you liked me more, then you better go listen to last week. But you should like us equal.
Us both the same.
Yeah. Tune in next
Then we like you more.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Empire of Storms, Chapter 19. Alide remained quiet during her trek with Lorcan across the plains beyond Oakwald Forest, though questions burned within her about his mistress, his intent to reach Marath, and the mysterious object he kept touching beneath his jacket. She understood that Lorcan carried secrets and that her protection would end once he found the answers he sought. Yet she felt secure enough as he hunted for her and ensured she was fed and rested. By mid-morning, they reached the vast Acanthus, a natural divide between worlds, with hills and meadows stretching beyond on the other side. To cross safely, Alide devised a plan. They would pose as humans. She instructed Lorcan to soften his appearance, tie back his hair, unbutton his jacket, and smile, while she styled her hair in the manner of a married woman and exposed her chest to distract prying eyes. Though Lorcan teased her, Alide knew it was a practical tactic. She also asked him to use his magic to mask her limp, which he did, knowing that Ilkin had recognized it before. At the stone bridge, crowded with travelers and guarded by Adarlan soldiers collecting tolls, Lorcan suggested they eat before attempting passage. While he preferred to pose as her brother, Alide insisted he act as her husband, since a brother would leave her unclaimed. They sat near a troop of carnies and overheard their struggles to pay tolls. Seizing the opportunity, Alide offered their help, Lorcan as a sword thrower and herself as a fortune teller. The troop leader, Molly, eventually agreed to give them a temporary place, warning they would be expelled without refund if they failed. With this ruse, they gained a way across the bridge. Lorcan marveled at Alide's cunning, recognizing how she used her charm to capture attention and secure their passage. As they approached the soldiers, they chatted with Nick, a bearded man who spoke of the hardships ahead. He described Rifthold as ransacked, overrun by demon women, aka the witches, and flying terrors, aka the wyvern.
The wyvern.
He also spoke of Aelin Galathinius, who had slain the king and restored Adarlan to its new ruler without an army, though he suspected her call to arms was imminent. Nick believed that if Aelin triumphed, a better life might be possible. Alide shared his faith, convinced Aelin would win, but their talk ended as they reached inspection. Soldiers demanded everyone dismount, and Lorcan paid a large toll, adding extra for expedited passage, which allowed them through without issue. Yet Lorcan noticed Alide trembling with rage at her injustice, her idealism burning through. She believed in fighting for her queen and in the possibility of a better world, much like Nick. Lorcan, however, kept his cynicism to himself. After 5 centuries of witnessing humanity's best and worst, he no longer believed in happy endings. To him, war promised only shallow graves, and dreams of a brighter future were illusions. Jeez, Lorcan. Way to dampen the mood.
What a Debbie Downer.
At least he keeps it to himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't tell Alide, who's like, rainbows and butterflies once Aelin wins.
Yeah.
Well, we got a couple of carnies.
Yes, our unlikely duo has met an unlikely group of travelers.
Indeed. And now they are a sword thrower and a fortune teller in a carnival.
Whoa.
Well, at least that's the ruse to get them across this bridge.
And it worked.
It does
They
work.
got past the soldiers with no issues. They didn't even question anybody in the troop.
Nope, they didn't. And they didn't care, the troop, because they were getting their toll paid.
And more.
And more.
Greedy bastards.
But Lorcan is rich, so...
Lorcan is just cracking me up in this chapter. Like, I can just imagine him trying to look human.
I know.
But I just imagine him doing, like, a really bad job at it. But Alide is so nice. She's like, oh, look at he's doing such a good job.
Yeah. She's like, pull back your hair, fix your shirt, unbutton it a little. I'm like, oh, okay. Loosening up for once.
Yeah. Inside,
But
he's dying.
he also uses magic to fix her limp, which I think is so awesome. But also, like, why didn't you fix it when you were trudging across the fucking forest? For like weeks on end, she's limping the whole time, and now you use your magic.
Well, I don't think he's ever gonna go out of his way to be nice to someone yet, I would say. But Alide asked him directly, and it made sense in the moment for him to do that to get her past the soldiers.
Yeah,
so
he's not that friendly. You're right.
He
like, even makes fun of Alide for her having her tits out.
She's like, I have great tits. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, she's like, I have to put my tits out to distract them, but also you have to be my husband because otherwise they're going to think I'm unclaimed and come after me.
I know. And he's like, now I can't even bang that other hot carny because she thinks I'm married. Fuck you, Lorcan.
Yeah, Lorcan's like, are you sure I'm not your brother?
I'm like, I see you looking at her tits.
I fucking can't. But they find out through this guy Nick, who's one of the carnies, of this bearded carny, I guess. He has a beard. I don't know what that means he does, but...
Maybe he's like the announcer.
Yeah, maybe. He speaks of Aelin, and he speaks of the ransack in Rifthold with the witches. Kind of informs them of all that, so they know what's to come because they're on their way to Adarlan. I'm assuming Rifthold. Or at least...
Well, she wants to go to Terracin.
Yeah, but they have to get through this piece of Adarlan land, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is why they're collecting the tolls and everything. They actually don't have an issue passing through, which I was surprised. I thought they were going to have like a little bit of a struggle.
Alide needed a win.
Literally, she needed an easy in, and she got it.
She did.
She has hope for a brighter future, but our little Debbie Downer Lorcan does not.
Maybe he will change his mind.
Maybe. We'll see. I have hopes for him.
Yes, me too.
Are him and Alide going to be in love?
Maybe.
All these little duos
They're
in these
pairing
books,
off.
they're literally pairing off. Even our square kind of pairs off in this section.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. But we'll get there.
Our square.
I love square.
Our love square in TOD.
Yeah. Speaking of TOD,
Here we go.
here we go. Tower of Dawn, chapter 17. Nesrin visited her aunt, which I'm probably butchering these names, but this is me and Megan's interpretation. Aunt Zahida and Uncle Brahim's home while the children were away at school, where education was freely provided to all in Antigua. Following custom, they sat at the table with Zahida at the head, symbolizing shared rule of the household. Nesrin came both for a good meal, as was tradition when visiting, and to inform them of the healer's murder and the fact that the intruder remained at large. Brahim expressed his wish that she had returned to sing, recalling how she had recently surprised the family by singing an Antican lullaby to the children. Nesrin explained that the attacker's methods resembled those of a Darlin enemies, though she withheld mention of the Valk, Erewhon, or the word keys, wary of who might be listening. She admitted there was a chance the attack was connected to her presence, but reassured them she did not believe the family was in immediate danger, though she would not underestimate her enemies. Zahida and Brahim agreed to increase their guards and arrange escorts for the children's journeys to and from school just to be safe. As they ate, Brahim remarked that they had assumed she would bring a guest, but Nesrin clarified that Kale was occupied. However, they were not referring to Kale, but to Prince Sartok, as rumors had spread of someone riding Kadara with him at dawn. Nesrin silently prayed no one had seen them, fearing the Valg might learn of it. Brahim mentioned the children were eager to ask her about the ride, but Nesrin brushed it off, saying she did not want to boast. Zahida concluded with confidence that the Rucks would not fear wyverns.
Ooh.
Per little secret ride, not so secret after all.
Well, I mean, they were like flying around the city
No shit.
on a famous ruck.
Literally, where everyone probably wakes up early just to see him fly every day.
Right.
And they're like, ooh, he's got a girl with him. And they're telling everybody it was probably way more of an audience.
Oh, yeah.
So Nesrin's back with her aunt and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
The kids are at school, and she's there to give them bad news.
Yep.
That there was a murder in the library at the Tor Sesame, and they don't have a suspect. So she doesn't tell them anything about the Valg or Erewhon or the word keys, solely because she doesn't even know who's listening,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy to me that she's thinking that, and then she thinks her family's not going to be involved at all.
Right.
And I'm like, you're scared of saying something around them, but you don't think they're in danger?
Delusional. You're delusional, girl. You're losing
Yeah.
your mind.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know about that. Especially because they know Sartok is going to look out for her family. I feel like it's going to be a bargaining chip in some sort of way. Or, I don't know, some way to get the southern continent on their side. I don't know. I feel like this is foreshadowing for something bad to happen to the family, honestly.
Well, this is such a filler chapter. I feel like
Yeah.
it's just kind of pointing us in the direction away from Nezrin and Kale to more of like Nezrin and the Prince.
And the prince, yeah.
I feel like that's what this chapter told me.
I know. We also find out she sings in this chapter too. I'm like, of course she does.
Of
Of
course, she sings.
But hey, this starts our little crack in our square, so it only gets deeper from here.
The start of the crack. All right. Empire of Storms, chapter 20. Rowan needed to rest. He didn't care where he rested. It could be in a stable under a horse, but he needed to sleep. He expended a lot of energy and magic on their way to Skulls Bay, but they had officially arrived. We learn that Rowan had been working with Dorian on his magic, having him summon frost to his palm and then letting it melt. He didn't want to risk Dorian blowing up their boat. Rowan was observing the city, looking at Shipbreaker, the towers, and just the chaos that Aelin had caused when she had been here 2 years ago. He wanted to make sure that Dorian's arrival was the complete opposite of what Aelin did when she was here. But before they could rest, both Rowan and Dorian felt a power. Dorian said the power felt old, but not Valg. This power just makes Dorian's magic feel curious, but the power is concealed. Rowan told Dorian to stay close. Dorian had never been to Skulls Bay, but they continued to hunt the source of the power in the rain. Dorian reminds us in his POV of the magical map that the Pirate Lord has tattooed on him. Dorian mused that Aelin's arrival on the island might be known well before she set foot on the island. Dorian was just thankful the Pirate Lord was on the island and that had gone right. They arrived outside of the Sea Dragon, the tavern, and they went inside. The Pirate Lord was expecting them, and the barmaid told them to head upstairs. Rowan knocked once and they entered, and Dorian didn't know what he expected, but he wasn't expecting Rolf to look so young. Our favorite Pirate Lord is back, baby.
He's back in action.
So, not too much in this
Yeah.
chapter, just we have arrived in Skulls Bay. Well, two of us have arrived in Skulls Bay, Rowan and Dorian. We just
Yep.
get a quick little update that Rowan is exhausted from keeping them safe through the bad weather and steering their boat safely here to Skulls Bay
With
with
his
his
magic,
wind. Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So he's tired. He's barely slept. And he's also been helping Dorian with his magic. Not really anything too crazy, but almost just teaching him control and just having him
Yeah.
like put some frost in his hand and letting it melt. And he didn't want to try anything else because he's like, we've had enough going on. We don't need to like blow up this boat and then we need to
Yeah.
swim the rest of the way to Skulls Bay.
We can't freeze and sink.
Yes. Dorian has never been to Skulls Bay, so we have a little POV switch in the middle of this chapter. And he is reminding us about this magical map that Rolf has tattooed on him. And we're wondering,
Mhm.
does this magical map now work again now that
Yeah.
magic is back? Because Rolf had told Aelin it doesn't work. It stopped working when magic disappeared.
Yeah.
But I would say from Rolf expecting them at the Sea Dragon
It
that
worked.
it does work, that he
For
knows
sure.
that Rowan and Dorian, the second they stepped foot on his island.
Which means he's gonna know when Aelin comes.
Oh, yeah, he's like already expecting her. And I wonder how far out this map goes if he could see the ship that she's currently sailing on.
I know. I'm sure it does. I'm sure he can.
But he still doesn't know who Aelin actually is, that it's his little
True.
bestie, Selena Zardovian.
Well, when he sees
He's
her,
gonna know.
he's gonna know. It's like that TikTok. He's gonna know. Empire Storms, chapter 21. Rolf sat in silence at first, deliberately making Rowan and Dorian wait as a show of power. When he finally spoke, he remarked that he would get along well with the man who enjoyed tattoos as much as he did, but Rowan corrected him sharply, insisting he was a fey male and not a human man. Rolf already knew Dorian was a king, causing such commotion as he revealed troubling news. Messengers had arrived declaring Dorian a traitor, stripped of his throne. Duke Parrington, now styling himself as King Parrington, had issued a decree signed by most of Adarlan's lord and ladies, naming Dorian and the Queen of Terrasen as murderers of innocents and enemies of the crown. The decree warned that any ally of theirs would also be considered an enemy and that Parrington's armies would crush Dorian if he did not yield. Holland had even been named Parrington's heir and crown prince.
Holy shit.
Wild. Dorian admitted his purpose was to see where Ralph stood, but Rolf claimed his only stance was keeping trouble out of his territory. Rowan pressed him, noting rumors that Rolf had already lost control of the easternmost islands. Rolf conceded that the area had been blocked off with magic, even erased from the moving map tattooed on his hands. His scouts had never returned, leaving him unable to count the enemy's forces, ships, or beasts. Terrifying sea wyverns, half the size of ships, swift as dolphins, armed with claws, sharp teeth, and venomous tails. He explained that killing one of their offspring would provoke relentless pursuit by the adults. Ralph had no interest in disturbing them, preferring to continue profiting from his ventures. Dorian pressed further, asking about Rolf's men, suspecting some had been taken rather than killed. He asked if they returned wearing rings or collars, and Rolf confirmed they wore rings. Curious, Rolf asked how Dorian himself had survived, but Dorian admitted he didn't know. Rolf then warned that even if they managed to wipe out the dead islands, it would not compare to the strength of Marath. Rowan agreed, but argued that if they could hold the islands, they could serve as bases for fleets from other kingdoms and continents. Dorian mentioned his efforts in Antica, hoping Cale would succeed, but Rolf scoffed, saying Antica would not come to their aid. They had refused 10 years ago, and they would refuse again, especially given the latest news. Before that news could be revealed, two strangers suddenly appeared. They were Fae, and one of them looked Rowan over, remarking that he preferred his hair longer. Rowan's only reply was to toss a dagger, which landed close to the stranger's ear.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
I think you made a prediction that the cadre would come back into play. I don't remember when you did, but you definitely did. I think maybe in Queen of Shadows somewhere when
Maybe. I
Lorcan
should
came
start
back.
writing down my predictions.
Yeah.
I never remember them. But yeah, I had a feeling they're not here with good news, but we'll wait till the next chapter to discuss that because
Yes.
they're just showing up at this chapter. But we find out some shit from Rolf.
Yeah. Some
We
bad
find
shit.
out, yeah, a lot about fucking Dorian and
Mhm.
how they stripped him of his throne. They consider him a traitor. Duke Parrington is now King Parrington.
Well, that makes sense to me because Erewhon is technically a Val king and he's probably just sick of being called a duke. He's like, my position demands the title it deserves. Ah.
I love the voice. That was great.
Thanks.
Yeah, so Parrington, aka Erewhon, issues a decree that he gets most of the lords and ladies of Adarlan to sign,
Mm-hmm.
which basically saying Dorian and the Queen of Terrasen are murderers and enemies of the crown. How's he gonna swing this one when he gets back to Riftold? Oh, even worse, Holland is the fucking crown prince too.
Fucking Holland. I forgot all about him. Did I ever tell you that
Yeah.
I think Colin is the king of Hyper?
No, that's hilarious.
There's like all these theories that went on about it, and I just like always forget he exists until his name pops up, and I'm always like, oh my god, I always think like he took off to Akatar land and
Yeah,
he's the king of
that's so
Hybern.
funny. Makes sense to me. So Dorian basically gets down to business with Rolf. He's like, I just need to know where you stand. But Rolf is literally only focused on keeping trouble out of his territory. He's basically like, I ain't getting my hands dirty for no one because I need to protect me and mines. And Rowan kind of reminds him that he's already losing some of his land.
Yeah.
And it's just going to keep happening to more of his islands until they own everything. He says he can't even see it on his maps, which is kind of confirmation for me that they work.
Right.
Because he's saying like this is completely erased off the map. Like it's just like blank where this should be, this territory. So
yeah.
Interesting. What are they hiding over there?
What are they concealing?
Indeed, darling. Very, very suspicious.
Very.
Indeed. So Rowan tries to explain a little bit more of their plan, saying that they can at least use the islands to house all the fleets from neighboring kingdoms and continents that would help aid them in this war. And he throws a little bone saying, oh, Antica. I got people in Antica doing my bidding down there, hoping Cale will have some success.
Mm-hmm.
But Ralph's like, they didn't come 10 years ago. They ain't gonna come now, honey.
Well, Maeve also didn't come 10 years ago, but her ass is sailing this way now.
True, but on what side?
We don't know. We don't know.
I'm scared about her. She scares me a little bit.
You should be scared.
But Rolf's about to say some news. What is the news? Do we find out this news?
I think the news is the news that these two that enter at the end tell us about Maeve.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Empire of Storms, Chapter 22. Dorian hadn't even seen Rowan throw his dagger until it hit the wall right near one of the new Fae male's ears. Fenris and Gavriel, the ex-cadre members, were now in the office with them, but Gavriel tells Rowan that they were not in Skulls Bay for Rowan. They said that they would explain over a meal as the news they brought to Rolf should be shared with Rowan and Dorian as well. Gavriel wanted to know if Aelin was with them, but Rowan says that she's not. Dorian could tell that the cadre had not parted on good terms, and Rowan just wanted them to get to the point of what news they had to share. They tell them that Maeve's armada is sailing for this continent. Rowan wants to know if she's allying with Marath or if Rolf is allying with her. Rolf says that he has no interest in this war, and Gabrielle says that she is not allying with Marath, but she is sailing to Eelway. She did not tell either of them a specific reason for why she's sailing to Eelway. She hasn't told them much since Rowan humiliated her and Lorcan abandoned her. She doesn't trust any of them now. They told Rolf as a courtesy and amongst other things. Rowan needed to dispatch letters immediately, but Rolf was convinced that Aelin would be sailing to Skulls Bay and would be here soon. Rowan tries to shut this down and that he was only here to bring King Dorian to get Rolf to ally with them in this war, and if he wasn't going to help them, then he could get out. Rolf doesn't take kindly to this, and Rowan says he better get used to it since he didn't think Marath would let him play king on this island for much longer.
Mm-hmm.
Rowan, Dorian, Fenris, and Gavriel left the tavern and headed over to the inn called the Ocean Rose. Rowan purchased 2 rooms, and with the gold coin he handed over, he could basically have anything he wanted. When they got up to the room, Rowan wanted to know how they kept their scents hidden, and they said it was a new trick of Maeve's. We learned that Connell is still with Maeve, and we get the backstory of Fenris and Connell and how they had become blood sworn to Maeve, with Fenris only joining to help his twin brother, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But Fenris and Gavriel wanted to know where Lorcan is. Rowan didn't know where Lorcan was exactly, but he hoped that he was working on getting the other 2 word keys before heading back to Aelin to get the real 3rd word key, and then they could have all of them. Gavriel and Fenris have nothing to do with the Armada, and they're here to hunt Lorcan for the crime he committed. They are not here to send him back. They are here to kill him.
Crazy.
Shoot. So we get Fenris and Gavriel up here in Skulls Bay with Rowan and Dorian and Rolf. Like, what a little bros club over here.
Literally.
Fenris, though, he is spicy. He definitely has this like young, I feel like puppy dog energy, which he is a wolf. So that just kind of makes sense
True.
to me. Where Gavriel is more of like, I feel like a father figure, which is funny because he is a daddy. And
True.
he keeps, I feel like, both Fenris and Rowan both very level-headed.
Yeah.
He probably always balanced out the group
So
when all of
Fenris
them
is
were
the
together.
twin
Yes, Fenris is the twin to
with
Connell. So
okay.
Fenris is like the light to Connell's dark. So he's like the black wolf and Fenris is the white
Is
wolf.
the white wolf. Got it.
Yes. And Connell is at Maeve's side, like he always is. But it just seems like, both twins had power, which it seems Fenris has more power than Connell. And Fenris, I think, had turned down Maeve and her offer to be blood sworn to her. But when his brother then agreed to it and heard how she was treating his brother, basically, I think just keeping him in the bedroom,
Yeah.
Fenris then agreed to be blood sworn to Maeve and just to kind of help his brother out and balance out those duties, which is really sad. So it doesn't really seem like Fenris is all that loyal or wants to be all that loyal to Maeve. And I feel like
Yeah.
I even got that impression from Gavriel as well. The only person that ever seemed like set that we've seen is Lorcan. And
Yeah.
now look at him being, hunted by his fellow cadre on Maeve's orders to kill him for abandoning her. But he is doing this, like Rowan says, because he thinks it's in her best interest.
Yeah.
And Maeve doesn't care, and neither does the cadre, because that's why they're here in Skulls Bay, is to secure a deal and find Lorcan.
Yeah. And I think you just confirmed to me that Maeve is going to be bad. She's going to be on the bad side
Mm.
because Connell is bad or he's like the dark wolf. Then that makes me feel like she's going to be bad and he's bad.
Yeah, I think he's definitely loyal to Maeve.
Yeah. I'm scared for her to come. Does she come soon though? She's got to come in these
Well, I guess
books.
we don't really know for sure Connell's opinion on anything because he's not there.
True.
He wasn't allowed to go with them.
Yeah.
Vaughn
Vaughn is.
is on the continent as well, but he's not with them at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
And then Lorcan is the other member, and he's off with the Lyde. So that's an update on
Mm-hmm.
our cadre. But we got 3 in the room.
We
3 out
have
of the
4
6.
5 out of 6 are on the same continent right now,
Mhm.
and one's on their way
Whoa.
with Maeve.
Yeah.
Oh
So
god.
Rolf is
Okay.
convinced, like we said earlier, that Aelin is on her way. So he's like, there's no point of you dispatching any letters, Rowan. Your queen will be with you soon enough.
Soon enough, yeah.
And they kind of get into a little tiff. And he's like, you are acting like this king, and everyone's definitely not going to let you do that soon. Biatch.
Yeah. He's like, "Do it while you can, because it ain't gonna be for long."
Yeah. But I mean, really, it's important. Like, who is Maeve allying with? Why is she sailing specifically to Eelway? Like, both Rowan and Dorian are kind of like trying to rack their brain. I feel like why that specific location? Is it because it was so important to Aelin that she's sailing there? Or is there some magic there that she wants to get her hands on?
Maybe.
Why
Yeah.
is she coming to this continent now when she never has before with her armada?
Does she
And
think a word key's there?
hmm, maybe. But we
But we have
know
all
we
3.
know where all 3 are, but
Yeah.
she doesn't know that, I
Yeah, she
guess.
doesn't know. But,
But it's like, why? And is she allying with Erewhon or
yes.
or she didn't ally with Erewhon before when she
No.
could have. So is she trying to like back alley some deals so that she gets the word keys and becomes the ruler of all?
Yeah,
That
like, is she
seems more
gonna
likely,
stay?
I feel
Yeah,
like.
like, she's gonna work with him to get what she wants and then dump his ass.
Mm,
I could see it both ways.
yeah, we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Empire Storms Chapter 23. Rowan froze as the news clarified why the 2 Fae males had come, though in truth they were 3. Vaughn had already flown north while the others headed south. They had landed in the grim port town to see if Rolf could be bribed into revealing Lorcan's whereabouts. Rowan considered sharing what he knew but withheld it, fearing Maeve might gain the word keys. Still, Maeve had technically granted them permission to bargain, so Rowan demanded an army of Doranel warriors in exchange for Lorcan's location and plans. The Armada, however, was already deployed, leaving Rowan to contend only with the 2 Fae males. Regardless, they were still following Maeve's command, and Rowan knew Lorcan's path would eventually lead him to Aelin and Rowan, and when it did, Lorcan would be theirs to face. Maeve concealed her true motives behind the Armada and Eelway, but she had revealed who ruled in Morath. Rowan reflected bitterly that 10 years ago they had done nothing to stop the horrors, allowing their people to be tortured and slaughtered while Maeve stood by, driven by spite against Aelin's mother for refusing to yield to her wishes. He declared that Aelin was a single flame in a sea of darkness, yet she was willing to fight Erewhon, Maeve, and even the gods themselves for peace. But she was only one person, and she would need their help. Before they could refuse, Rowan played his final card, revealing to Gabriel that he had a son, Adian, and that he was on his way to Skulls Bay to meet them. The revelation forced them to agree to stay out of each other's way until Gabriel could meet Adian. Rowan warned them, however, that if they so much as hinted to Maeve that Adian was Gabriel's son, he would side with Lorcan in killing them. This was war, and Rowan had no intention of losing.
You got to play all the cards you have.
Yep, he fucking is the bomb dropper, dude. He drops
He
all the
all the
bombs.
truth bombs. He's just like 1, 2. He's like
Yeah,
Lady Whistledown in Bridgerton.
literally. He's Lady Whistledown.
He's like, I know all the truths and I know exactly when to drop them to have the most impact.
Could you imagine? Gabriel has no choice
He's
but
like,
to agree.
what?
At least agree to stay to meet
Meet him.
Adian. Because
Yeah.
he didn't even know he was a dad.
He had a suspicion though when he met
Yeah,
Aelin because I think
he
he
did.
thought Aelin was his at first.
Yeah, that's true. So I think he probably does know.
Hmm.
Maybe not knows, but like when you just know, but you
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Rowan kind of outsmarts the blood oath to Maeve by
Mhm.
basically getting them to agree to help him
Mhm.
help Aelin.
Yes, because she didn't say that they couldn't barter and
Yeah.
they can work around it. So they're trying to find Lorcan. So they're going to help them find Lorcan because Lorcan will eventually find them. So in the
Hmm.
meantime, they're going to help Aelin.
Yeah. And I think Rowan eventually will stop them from killing Lorcan too.
Hmm.
He's going to be like, but we're all bros. We can't hurt each other. We're bros.
Yeah.
Bros do not hurt bros.
Yes.
Some kind of drama is gonna happen, and
The
then they're gonna have an
cadre is our
emotional.
friend, not food.
Yeah. We get some more information about Maeve here and shit that happened a decade ago. And I just feel like her entrance is upon us. We shall meet her soon.
Unfortunately.
Indeed.
Yikes.
Hopefully, Adian and Gabriel get to meet first before we meet Maeve.
I would say that's more likely. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Tower of Dawn, Chapter 18. Irene and Kale were still in shock that Kale was able to move his toes. But Kale was able to stop his toes movement when Irene asked him to, and then able to move them again after some concentration. They were both smiling at each other. Irene thinks that when she blasted the darkness with her magic, she pushed back the darkness a little, and now he was able to have some movement in his toes. What Irene had experienced in the darkness was horrible, and she didn't want to acknowledge what the darkness had been trying to show her. Irene wanted to do some exercises before they ended the day, but she was going to order some food and use Kale's bath and borrow some clothes as she was covered in blood. Kale told her that she could take whatever she wanted. Later, Irene met with Hazar, who was feeling rejected since Irene was spending a good majority of her time healing Kale. We learn how Irene and Hazar became friendly, with the princess needing healing from a tapeworm. The healer on high had done the healing, but Irene had talked with Hazar through the healing. Hazar teased Irene about Kale, but Irene said she does not have the hots for Kale, and Hazar thinks that he is handsome, and Irene maybe should think about it if she wasn't going to date her
Mm-hmm.
brother. Irene wasn't interested in her brother either because she didn't want to think what would happen if he didn't become the next Coggin. Hazar cares for Irene, though, and was concerned when Irene didn't come to her when the healer was killed at the tour. Hazar said that when she finds whoever it was, she will behead them herself. She doesn't take kindly to her friend being hunted or the healers being targeted. Hazar brings up that Kale and Nezran may have brought spies with them, though Irene doubts this. Hazar shows Irene a map with Duke Parrington's armies, and that Dorian and Aelin are both still missing. She thinks that Kale and Nezran came here for a reason and would do anything to get them to ally with them, even pull a stunt like the library. Hazar wants Irene's help to see what Kale and Nezran truly want in the exact location of Aelin. Hazar knows that Irene wants to leave these lands and she controls the ships, and she may make it difficult for Irene to do so if she doesn't help her in this task. Hazar invites her to the holiday, though, to celebrate the Lady of the Great Deep, and will even have a dress ready for Irene. Friendly, but difficult, this Hazar.
She seems like a friend, but then after this, I'm like, damn, she's a bitch.
Yeah.
This is not a friend of Irene's.
I think she just doesn't know any better. I think
Yeah.
she's in this competition with her other siblings to become the next Coggin. There's all backstabbing and rivalry and
Yeah. It's all she
scheming. It's
knows.
all she knows how to do. So
Yeah.
she just knows how to manipulate people really well into doing her bidding. And that's
Which
just
is so sad.
exactly what she's doing, but I don't think she's doing it to be malicious. She's just
No.
doing it to get what she wants, and that's just how she's lived her entire life.
Yeah. And Irene does it. But she is honest with Kale, which we'll get to later. But
Yes.
when she finally does say something to him.
Yeah. But we are kind of jumping back into where we left off with Kale in the last section of chapters, and he's
Wiggling his toes.
wiggling his toes. Now he stops moving and moves them again on command, but they're going to do some exercises. Irene needs to take a little bit of a rest and eat because
Mm,
she was bleeding everywhere after that
literally.
healing. Yeah, so then we just jump to later in the day when she's with the princess, and she's kind of teasing her about the clothes she's in, and she's like, "Ooh, the gossip, people are going to think you are wearing them for a better reason than you actually are." And
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, you don't want to bang Kale? I would." And Irene's like, "Really?" And she's like, "No, just kidding."
Poor Kale.
But I do like
I love Kale.
me too. But I love how we get this backstory of Irene and Hazar's friendship and when they met when she had a tapeworm, and how Hazar kind of brought her into her life and introduced her to her girlfriend. And yeah, she seems like a good friend. She's like, "I will behead anyone who fucks with you. But also, if you fuck with me, you're not getting on that ship to leave me."
Yeah.
I also just don't think that she wants Irene to leave, to go back, because Irene's probably one of her
No.
only truest friends that she could actually trust
Yeah.
that won't backstab her. So I wouldn't want to lose anyone like that in my life either. If that's the only person in my life besides, Raina, I think is very
Yeah, I
loyal to
just
her.
think her as a person, though, she would rather trap Irene there than giving her what she wants
Yeah. And she's like,
to
if you
leave.
do go with my brother and he comes after me and I have to kill him, I won't kill you. I'll just make sure you can't ever have children again. Yay!
Yeah. Like, come on, it's a perfect plan.
Yeah, like what are you talking about? Like, why are you scared about that?
She's a selfish bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, so she really wants to know what's going on because she has a map of all of Duke Parrington's armies. On the map, it's not looking good for our side of the war, and Dorian and
No.
Aelin are still missing. So she's like, I need to know exactly what they want and the exact location of Aelin,
Yeah.
or you go home never.
Which they accidentally give her.
I know.
Unfortunately, but we'll get
That
there.
oh, okay. Now I didn't read the last chapter. Remember, I know exactly the part.
Oh.
I know exactly what you're talking about because it is like I feel like one of the most comedic moments in
Yeah.
this tandem read, and I feel like it makes it so much better because it is the tandem read. But we'll get to it
Yeah.
later.
He's like, "Oh, she'll never go there."
And like literally, the next section of chapters is like her entering Skull's Bay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so funny. All right, let's continue on. Tower of Dawn, chapter 19. Kale managed to move his toes long after Irene left, though he kept the progress secret from Nezrin, who had seen no signs of the Valg. He postponed their plan to visit her family, determined to continue his healing with Irene. When he kissed Nezrin in passing, which was crazy that they even kissed at all,
Yeah.
there was no spark, no true feeling, and at dinner he kept flexing his toes, resolved to request another audience with the Kagan. Irene worked on him until she was nearly collapsing from exhaustion, forcing Kale to stop the session and call Kaja to escort her to her room. She had been physically manipulating his legs while channeling her magic, pushing herself to the brink. That evening, the Kagan dined privately, but Kale took comfort in Nezrin's apparent progress with Sartok. The next morning, Kale rose eagerly, ready for breakfast and another day of healing, while Nezrin prepared to meet Sartok. The city was alive with preparations for the upcoming holiday honoring Tahom, the Lady of the Great Deep, when gifts would be offered to the water and a feast held at the palace. Yet Irene was nowhere to be found. She had been late the day before, and after waiting anxiously for over an hour, Kale retraced her path to the tour. The guards confirmed she had not left yet. Kale ran into Haviza, who explained that Irene had arrived the previous night already asleep and had to be carried to her room. Her powers were extraordinary, but came at a steep cost, and rest was essential. Worried, Kale suggested she take the holiday off, though Haviza noted Irene was not one to rest willingly. Escorting Haviza through the city, Kale witnessed the reverence people showed her, stopping at every block to touch her or be touched by her. Returning to the palace, his thoughts lingered on the healer sleeping within the tour.
Hmm.
Another little crack in our square.
Yes. Lots of cracks in this chapter.
Indeed. Irene slept for a day and a half, her exhaustion the price of Kale's progress. At dawn, she slipped into the courtyard and found him waiting, having ridden his horse alone to meet her. He refused to answer questions about his toes until she assured him she was rested, which frustrated her, and she did not hide it. They spoke of the murdered healer's burial, and Kale asked how the others were coping. Irene explained that Haviza and Arisha had led by example, keeping calm and focused, and Kale offered to assist with another lesson. Before working on him, Irene planned to check another patient, and Kale volunteered to accompany her. First, however, she wanted him to practice exercising on horseback, recalling a previous patient with a similar injury who had benefited greatly from riding. She mentioned Cashin, and Haviza had accompanied her to the steps to heal that warrior, prompting Kale to ask if it was when Cashin confessed his love. Irene dismissed the question, saying it was none of his business. Cashin had been her friend, but she never wanted more, and her heart was set on helping where she was needed most, in Fenharrow. She felt nothing strong enough for Cashin to change that. With the matter closed, they rode together into the awakening city.
Crack, crack,
Lots of
crack.
cracks,
Crack, crack, crack.
literally. It's about to like burst open. First of all, he tells Nesrin he doesn't want to go see her family. And then literally the next day, Irene never shows up and he still doesn't go see the family. He's like, la la la, I'm just going to pretend I'm healing. I'm wiggling my toes. I'm doing my
He doesn't
exercises.
even tell her that he can
I
wiggle his toes.
know.
I feel like that kiss was such a guilty kiss, too.
But I also feel like it was to see if there was a spark or not.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he was starting to feel things for Irene, and if he did feel a spark, it would have confirmed to him that he should be with Nesrin.
Mm,
But because there was no spark, he's like, okay, I can flirt a little flirty flirt with Irene.
yeah.
But Irene is like, no, not
Yeah.
about it.
She's not giving in.
Although she starts to show a little bit of cracking too.
Oh, yeah. She's definitely
Eventually.
warming to Kale. They're smiling.
Yeah.
Like, even at the beginning of my chapter, they're smiling at each other. She wonders
Yeah.
if the darkness that she broke out of him is changing him and, like, showing who he actually is.
Yeah. He accompanies her to other patients and, like, basically sees what she does every day.
Mm.
He checks on her, and he's waiting at dawn for the second day in a row. So he not only went the day that she was sleeping all day, but then he went back the next day
Yeah.
on horseback. This
Mhm.
guy can only move his toes, not his legs.
Yeah.
Rode on a horse twice.
That is literally the definition of if he wanted to, he
He
would,
would.
because he
Literally.
literally Nesrin is in his room basically, and she's like, "Want to come see my family?" He's like, "No,
Yeah.
no," and not
But I'm
that
gonna ride a
horse
horse all the way to
twice
the tour
when I have no
for 2 days
legs
straight.
to go see
Yeah.
Irene.
The square is definitely not squaring anymore.
They're breaking off. They're branching off.
Literally branching off
But
into
if he
triangles.
wanted to, he would.
Yep, if he wanted to, he fucking would. Crazy.
Men.
I guess the only other thing really to mention in this chapter is one, they have this burial for the murdered healer, which gives Kale an opportunity to offer his services again for another lesson, which I'm sure he will participate in soon.
Yeah.
And Cashin is brought up, his love for her, and that basically she feels like she needs to go to Fenharrow. And although she loves Cashin as her friend, she's never wanted more from him. So
Mhm.
sorry, Cashin.
Sorry. Sucks to suck.
You are not
The
him.
winner.
You lose.
All right. Now it's my last chapter. Tower of
Woo!
Dawn, chapter 20. Irene and Kale arrive at her patient's house. He was an old man suffering from a disease that he had been battling for 5 months now. Other patients have defeated it, but Irene thinks with his old age, she is just buying him time instead of giving him a solution. Kale can see how much joy Irene brings in healing this man and the patient to the patient and his wife, and they are grateful, but Irene blames herself for not being able to heal him to 100%. Instead of going back to the palace to work on Kale, they go see a young mother who had recently given birth. Kale didn't mind being out in the city and on the horse watching Irene work. When they arrived, both mother and baby were doing great. The mom even wanted to get back in the saddle with her husband. The young mother teased that if she couldn't have any fun, then Irene should have all the fun for her with Kale. Irene gives
Mhm.
a hard no, which Kale teases her about, but he does say that he is with Nesrin. Both state that they would be at the party later tonight. Irene would have to go or face Hazar's wrath before Irene gave Kale a tour of the city, even buying him her favorite treats. Irene hopes that Adarlan and Fenharrow can be as beautiful as Antika again one day. Irene tells Kale that he loves his people very much and that the people of Fenharrow have not been blameless in their actions this past decade. Then they headed back to the palace. Kale got ready in his teal jacket. Nesrin wore a well-cut amethyst jacket and pants, and not her captain of the guard uniform, which has been missing in action. Kale
Oh.
told her that she looked beautiful. Kale told Nesrin he helped Irene around the city with her patients, and he still had not told her about his toes. When they got to the party, they saw Irene's entrance, and she was dressed in a cobalt blue dress and looked beautiful. Everyone was staring at her, Nesrin even
Mhm.
commenting that she looked regal.
Ooh.
Argon had looked at Irene like she was a prize, and Hazar approached Nesrin and told her to move. Oh, shoot.
Hazar is a crazy bitch.
She is literally a crazy boss bitch.
She knows what to do to get what she wants done.
I just, like,
Literally.
forgot that she, like, literally walks up to her and, like, whispers, "Move."
Yeah. She's like, we're switching up the seating.
Yes.
Go over there next to my brother.
Crazy. I mean, I don't really have too much to add of commentary to this. I mean, we didn't
Yeah.
get like any new information except more cracks in our square and
Mhm.
Irene admitting to Kale that he basically, I feel like this is her admitting that he is a good man and that he loves his people very much and that she can't put 100% blame on the Darlin. The Fen Harrow people also are not blameless for the last 10
Yeah.
this the last decade. So I feel like this is just like a really true bonding moment with him traveling around with her to see her work and her patients and then the city and seeing what she loves so much about it. And they're both their shared hopes and dreams that a Darlin and Fenharrow can be like Antica one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
Before the drama at the dinner table,
Yes.
which is my last chapter of the episode, Tower of Dawn, chapter 21. Princess Hazar deliberately arranged the seating at dinner, placing Nezrin with Sartok and Irene with Kale. Her motives clear. Irene and Kale began with casual conversation about his toes, the girl's next lesson, and Irene's recent success in passing her exams, finally becoming a healer of the tour. Haviza would test her one final time, which made Kale feel like an experiment, though Irene reminded him the focus was on her, not him. As they spoke, a circle of 8 dancers, men and women, performed, filling the room with smoke, a mild opiate. Duva excused herself due to her pregnancy, while others lounged intimately with nobles' servants curling at their feet. Hazar and her lover claimed a couch, openly affectionate, and Kale invited Irene to sit with him, perhaps shielding her from Cashin's attention. Irene explained that such indulgences with servants were not considered affairs in Antica, and that Kaja had likely been chosen to please him, but Kale firmly stated he was not inclined to stray, even with a willing servant. Eventually, Irene revealed Hazar's true intent. She wanted Kale to know Parrington's armies were spread across the continent, from the Ferrying Gap to Rifthold, and she sought information about Aelin's whereabouts. Hazar feared the threat of fire and demanded any clue, promising to make Irene's life difficult if she failed to coax Kale into revealing something. When Kale asked Irene what she believed, she admitted she didn't think he played games. In response, Kale offered a location he was certain Aelin would never go. Skulls Bay, where Rolf had once threatened to kill her on sight. Irene left to deliver this information to Hazar. Dumb, dumb, dumb
It
Kale.
just it's just actually comical. It's
Yeah, it
comical.
is fun. Funny, yeah. Later, Kale found himself with Nezrin in his room. He reminded her that they were supposed to do this together, but Nezrin countered that their paths change. That paths change, something he knew better than anyone. She explained that Sartok intended to seek answers from his people about the Valg, and she was considering joining him. With Kale making progress in his healing, she did not want to interfere, but emphasized the need to gather forces against Erewhon. Kale urged her to wait until morning before deciding. He then asked her to sit and share about her family and the day's celebrations, which she did briefly. Yet between them lingered unspoken words, a silent acknowledgement repeated in their hearts. I know, I know, I know. And there goes our square for good.
Yes.
Officially split in half after this chapter.
Mhm.
They're basically saying it without saying it that it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, they were never officially together. They said, like, let's
No.
see where this goes. And then he got injured. Now they're here. And I don't even think if they had been back in Rifthold with everything going well, if it would have worked out. I think
Yeah.
they would have lasted maybe a little bit longer, but I don't think that they would have been together forever.
Well, I feel like their relationship was always about like lust anyway. Even when they were younger and dumb kids, they would just hook up.
Right.
Like she never wanted anything more, he never wanted anything more. So I feel like maybe it was just like a
Yeah,
comfortability.
they were the only two single ones left because Gail's not
Yeah,
going to date Dorian, even though he should.
exactly. And now there's options everywhere. So they're
Yeah.
finally realizing, like, yeah, we don't need to settle for each other. We're
Yes. We're good.
good. So, although Princess Hazar is being a crazy lady trying to get her way and get Irene to coax this information out of Kale, she actually sets up Nezrin pretty good with her brother.
Yeah, she does.
So there's these Dancers coming out again with this smoke, which just reminds me of Saving Adian.
Yes.
They're always dancing with smoke. But instead there's like orgies happening or some fucking crazy shit going on.
Spicy.
Yeah, like the servants with the nobles. And I was just like, okay. Basically telling Kale that Kaja was chosen for her to like please him, which makes sense now while he was like, I just want you to wash me. Like, relax.
Yeah. But I think he's known that and he's like not about it.
Yeah, no, he's never been about it for sure. He even says now, like, he's not inclined to stray. But Irene thinks he's talking about Nezrin, but really he's talking about her.
Yeah.
Irene finally tells Kale what Princess Hazar wants from her and that she's basically going to make her life hell or delay her leaving purposely until she gets what she wants out of it. So Kale's like, oh, she'll never go to Skulls Bay. Why don't you tell her she's heading there?
It's just so perfect.
Kale.
I can't ever imagine reading Empire Storms and then reading Tower of Dawn separately. It just works so well reading the story in like tandem reading.
It does. It does. It's a masterpiece, I have to
Yeah.
say.
It's beautifully
insane.
laid out with the timeline.
It is literally like it's one book.
Yeah.
Like it's perfect. I want to know if you've actually read the book separately. What are your thoughts?
I would just hate going back in time. Like the way Empire of Storms ends, I would never read Tower of Dawn. And I think that's why some people haven't, because they're like, well, I don't really give a shit what happened to Kale in this book. I'll figure it out once I get to Kingdom of Ash because
oh my God.
Yeah.
They skipped the whole book?
I've heard people that
I
have
wouldn't
done
skip
that.
the whole book.
I wouldn't either, but I don't think I could have read it separately.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So we end this chapter with Nezrin and Kale finally coming to the conclusion that their paths have changed, but they decided to come here together and do this whole thing together and work on their relationship, but it's not working out the way they planned. He's got to focus on his healing. She's going to focus on gathering forces against Erewhon. She still is the captain of the guard.
They're never getting back together.
They're never getting back together. We are never, ever, ever getting back together. We. And they both know it silently.
Yes.
In unspoken words.
It's nice when it's a mutual agreement.
It is, yeah. And they both have distractions to get them through it.
Yeah, I think they'll both be fine.
Yeah, I mean, they have to work together. It's not like
actually, I know they'll both be fine.
Perfect, darling. That sounds great to me. But that's all we have for you today. Please let us know what you think by leaving us a review and comments on any of the platforms you are listening / watching on or on our social media pages. This helps tremendously to get the word out and lead more listeners to find our show and tune in. And come join our book club Discord. You can find the link in our bios on Insta and TikTok. And this month, we are reading The Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee. And we're meeting on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you there in the Discord. We love chatting with you guys, so don't be shy.
Don't forget to email, follow, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and tell all your friends about us. And we hope the rest of your day is blissful. Bye!
Thank you so much for listening. Join us next week for part 5 of The Tandem Read by Sarah J. Maas, featuring Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. Happy reading!